Let me take you back to where it all started, high school. I was known as the beautiful girl. Teachers adored me, classmates envied me, and boys, well, they couldn't help but notice me. But beauty came with its challenges. People assumed I had it easy, that life was perfect because of how I looked. They didn't see the pressure I felt to always be flawless or the way I had to guard myself from the wrong kind of attention. My name is Miriam, and I'm 27 years old. From the outside, people might think I have it all: a decent job, a loving family, and the kind of looks people often compliment. But beneath it all, there are parts of my life that I've never fully understood, moments I've carried in silence. There was one boy in school, Femi, who was different. He wasn't loud or boastful like the others. He had this quiet charm that drew me in. We became friends quickly, and for the first time, I felt like someone saw me for more than just my looks. But one day, during a class trip, something happened that changed the way I saw relationships forever. We were sitting by the lake, away from the group. Femi leaned in close, and before I could process it, his lips were on mine. It wasn't my first kiss, but it was the first time I felt torn. I liked him, but I wasn't ready for more. Yet, when he placed his hands on my shoulders, guiding me to lie back on the grass, I froze. I didn't stop him. I couldn't. Was it fear? Was it curiosity? I don't know. That moment shaped how I viewed intimacy, something I couldn't fully control, something I couldn't entirely own. Fast forward to now, and that feeling hasn't completely left me. A few months ago, my parents traveled for a weekend getaway, leaving me at home with our house help, Kola. Kola wasn't someone I ever paid much attention to. He was quiet, respectful, and always kept to himself. But that weekend, something shifted. It was late in the evening. I was in the living room scrolling through my phone, barely aware of Kola moving around the house. He walked in and offered to fix the lights that had been flickering. I nodded, barely looking up. But as he worked, I noticed him in a way I hadn't before: the way his hands moved, the quiet focus he had. When he finished, I thanked him, and he just stood there for a moment, looking at me. His eyes were intense, but not in a way that made me uncomfortable. Then, he walked closer. Before I knew it, he was behind me, his hands gently brushing against my shoulders. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more emotional and relatable experiences, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Kola walked closer. Before I knew it, he was behind me, his hands gently brushing against my shoulders. My heart raced. I knew what was coming, but I didn't stop it. What happened next felt surreal. It was intimate yet detached. I later described it to myself in the simplest way. His touch, his movement, it felt like a stick, plain and mechanical. It wasn't my first time experiencing something like that from behind, but this time, I felt indifferent. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It just happened. For days after, I couldn't stop thinking about why I reacted that way. Was it because I had no real connection with him? Or was it something deeper, a reflection of how I've always felt about intimacy? Detached, like an observer in my own life. But this wasn't the first time I'd felt indifferent about something so personal. In my early 20s, I dated a man named David. He was everything I thought I wanted: smart, funny, and driven. But our relationship lacked depth. He loved me more than I loved him, and I could tell. I stayed with him because it felt safe, but every time we were together, I felt a sense of detachment. I was present physically, but emotionally, I was miles away. Even now, as I reflect on these moments, I wonder, is something wrong with me? Or am I just protecting myself from something I don't fully understand? Looking back, I realize that these experiences, from my high school days with Femi to my moment with Kola, are pieces of a puzzle I'm still trying to put together. They've shaped me, yes, but they don't define me. I'm learning to own my story, to embrace the parts of me that are still healing. Maybe one day, I'll understand why I've felt the way I do about intimacy. Until then, I'll keep moving forward, one step at a time. We all have stories, moments that linger in our minds and shape how we see ourselves. Mine is just one of many. If you've ever felt like you're carrying a secret, know that you're not alone. Our pasts don't define us. They guide us toward who we're meant to be. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more emotional and relatable experiences, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. By subscribing, you'll never miss a story that touches your heart and keeps you engaged. Join our community, and let's explore life's journeys together.